Hey, this is Dustin Higgins. I'm going to tell part two of my crazy story. February 22nd, 2018 was the day that rocked my world. So I went to sleep on the couch the night before with a really bad headache and woke up with one at 4 o'clock in the morning when my older son was walking through to the garage to get a bottle of water. So I asked him to get me one too and some Tylenol. So the thing I noticed, I couldn't swallow the Tylenol. It was like my throat was swollen shut. Like literally, I know, my right vocal cord was completely paralyzed, and I couldn't swallow anything. I didn't know that at the time. So yeah, I felt kind of bad. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to work today. I just kind of laid back down, went to sleep. He went on his way, and I woke up again, and my wife was there asking if I was okay. I guess I had the violent, uncontrollable hiccups that woke her up. And so I struggled to sit up, and I used both my hands to kind of stabilize myself on the coffee table and told her, no, I'm not okay. And we just switched over to the high deductible insurance plan. So I told her to go get me a pair of shorts and drive me to the hospital, instead of in the ambulance. And she grabs the shorts, and then I stand up to put them on, and I fall right over. So at that point, I'm like, call 911. It's definitely, I don't know what's going on, but it's not good. So the ambulance shows up, and they bring a big chair in, and they kind of cart me out and put me in the ambulance. And I vividly remember all the details of leaving the house. At this point, it was about 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun's coming up, and I've watched going down the driveway, down our road, down the road to the hospital, and went straight to the ER where they gave me CAT scans and MRIs. And I mean, I had a really hard time, laying down on the table to do the CAT scans and the MRIs. I mean, it was just awful because my balance was out of whack, and I mean, just all kinds of things I didn't really know at the time. But I mean, it was just really hard to get through. So I'm sitting there in the ER, and the ER doctor comes in and informs me that I had a small stroke. It was a small dot, but it happened to be on a really bad part of my brain, the brainstem. So that affects all the motor functions, the swallowing, the balance, and that kind of stuff. So they sent me up to the intensive care, and my nurse was somebody that I happened to know for a long time. So I got a sense of comfort of being taken care of by somebody that I was familiar with, familiar face. So I got my suction machine, and for somebody that can't swallow, I mean, that became my lifeline for the next 3 weeks, because you got a mouthful of saliva, it's got to go somewhere. So I had double vision. So I didn't really understand double vision until I had it. I kind of thought it was like blurry vision. But double vision, for example, if you're looking at a clock, you see one down here out of one eye, and then you see another one up here out of another eye. So, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, you can't focus on anything. So I'm laying there in the intensive care singing the 80s foreigner song, Double Vision. So my family was sitting there looking at me like, what in the heck is wrong with you? So I was trying to shed a little light on the situation. I mean, at this point, it's going on for hours, and it's definitely not getting any better. So 8 o'clock that night, I'm still at the local hospital, and the neurologist comes in and breaks some news. So they found something on the scans in Pittsburgh that they missed at the local hospital. I had a dissected artery, or a torn artery, in the back of my neck, and they wanted to fly me by helicopter to Pittsburgh. So everything about small and minor, and don't worry about it, everything's going to come back. I mean, it all went out the window. Everything got serious, like really quick. So the neurologist goes off, makes those arrangements, and comes back in, and it was a short time after, and informs me that it was too foggy to fly that night. So lucky me, I got to take a medical transport for the 4-hour ride up to Pittsburgh, from the local hospital. So the guy that was supposed to be in the back, I'm sure he went up front. I think he fell asleep, and I'm on my back the whole time, so and there's no suction machine, so I got all this saliva that's got to go somewhere. So I'm about an hour into it, I start saying, "Help me," and it's not coming out because my vocal cord is paralyzed, and I can't speak over the road noise. And 4 hours later, I showed up in Pittsburgh at 6 o'clock in the morning. We left at 2. So, an hour into the trip, I just started spitting all over myself because, I didn't want to, like, choke on it. It was an awful ride. It was like riding in the back of a pickup truck. So I ended up in Pittsburgh at 6 o'clock in the morning, and that concludes part 2. And it gets really crazy from here. I'll be back soon.